Hey there everyone, my name is Carly-Rae and I'm from downtown Pennsylvania. I'm a full-time student and I love to cook. I met Miss Paula a few years ago at a local book signing and I fell in love with her instantly. She's so sweet and down to earth. She loves people and she loves to cook and she brings the two together so well, and she has taught me to do the same thing. Today we're going to be making buffalo chicken bites that features, of course, the Philadelphia cream cheese. I got the idea for this recipe because I love buffalo wings and all my friends love them too. So I thought, well, this is a great way because they're not that messy and you get cream cheese in it with them too. So the first thing you want to do is turn on your oil. I'm using peanut oil today because I love the flavor and it's great for frying. You need about 2 to 3 inches in a pot this size. And you want to do that first so the oil gets really hot and you get them nice and crispy and crunchy and so good. The next step you want to do is cook your chicken. You're going to cook it in warm water over on the stove. I already done so. I made 3 chicken breasts. You put them in a food processor, chop them up, and then they look like this in the little tiny pieces. When cooking chicken, you always want to make sure you don't cross-contaminate. Wash your hands really well. Wash all the things that the chicken has touched because we don't want any E. coli, nothing, that stuff like that. So now we're going to get to start on mixing all the ingredients together for the filling. First we have the 3 chicken breasts all chopped up. We're going to put that in the bowl. The next step would be a package of Philly cream cheese. This is the original. It's softened obviously. Want it nice and soft so we can mix it off really well. I have about half a cup of blue cheese right here. We're going to put that in the filling too. And then we're going to put in some hot sauce. You can use your favorite kind of hot sauce, whatever one you want to use. You can use a little, you can use a lot, whatever you want. I like a lot because I like my hot wings nice and spicy, and so does my family as well. This is a great recipe to use for a party, when you're watching a Phillies game. Yeah. Any kind of event. And they're good too because you can pre-make them and then freeze them in the freezer, pop them out, stick them in the oven, and they'll be nice and crispy again. So right now we're just incorporating everything with our hands because your hands are your best tools. You want to just make sure everything is incorporated well. Get all the chicken, all the cheese in there together, mixed well with the cream cheese. The cream cheese is great in this recipe because it binds everything together, it gives it a creamy taste. Everything you want to do with the cream cheese, it's so good. Now that everything is combined, I'm going to go wash my hands and I'll be back in a second. Now it's time to make the actual buffalo chicken bites. All you're going to need is an egg, a brush for the egg. If you don't have one of these, you can just use your fingers. And you're going to need wonton wrappers. The most important thing about this is to keep them nice and moist. So I put a paper towel over them to keep them moist. So basically all you're going to do is take a wrapper, put it on a flat surface, take a spoonful of the filling, stick it right in the middle. Oh, forgot to crack my egg. Just crack the egg, put it in a bowl. You don't need the shell. Whisk it up. And this is the egg wash. The egg acts as the glue. So basically you just want to brush all 4 corners of the wonton. Bring them 2 together, bring the other 2 up together, kind of all squeeze them all together, and then they all stick with the egg, and now you have a little bite. It's just as easy as that. This is a great family helping recipe because they can do an assembly line of your kids. Just put a little in the middle like I said before. Brush the outside of it. Bring all the corners together. Push and twist. You want to make sure that you have all the corners shut because you don't want any of the filling coming out when you're frying them because it turns into a big mess and everything gets burnt. You don't want that. So we're going to make 1 more of these because I already have some made up. So you just brush the edges. If you don't have a brush, you can use your fingers just as easily. Like I said, your hands are your best tools. Take some of the filling, stick it right in the middle. You want to make sure you don't overfill them too, because you don't want that mess to clean up. Stick it all together, and there you go. You have a little bite. Now it's time to fry them. How I do this is I take a slotted spoon, I put one on, dip it in the hot oil so you don't burn yourself and so it doesn't splatter. You want to make sure you don't put more than 4 to 5 in the pot because you don't want to overcrowd it. You don't want to take the temperature of the oil down, anything like that. And you also want to make sure they float so they don't get burned, stuck to the bottom. They fry up very fast, and you also want to remember too, once they come out and sit a little, they also do get darker. While these fry up, it only takes about a minute. When Paula was in Philly a few years ago, she was talking about how she went to a local cheesesteak place in Philly and saying, "Oh, excuse my smell, y'all." It was just so cute. We're like, we're all used to it around here. It was adorable. So you can see, once you have hot oil, how fast they brown up. These only need a few seconds longer. These look so good already. And they're done. So all you want to do is take them out, put them on a paper towel, let the oil drain and absorb into the paper towel. And I already have some few made, and so right now we're going to make the homemade blue cheese dressing to dip these in. It's so good and so yummy, and while they're cool, we're going to make it. So I'll see you in a second. Now it's time to make the blue cheese dressing. This is so good and so creamy, and it's so refreshing when you dip the hot buffalo chicken bites in it. So all you need is a cup of mayonnaise. Put that in the bowl. You need a 1/4 cup of sour cream. I like this because it gives it a little tang. A 1/4 cup of blue cheese. And a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Miss Paula would be very, very proud with that ingredient. Put this in the sink. Now you just stir until it's all mixed together. This looks so good. You can't have a hot wing without blue cheese dressing, and the fact that it's homemade makes it 10 times better. Comes together really easily. Now we're going to plate it. I already have some pre-made ones here. All you're going to do is put it in the bowl. My dogs are barking. They must be hungry for these. And put the ones we made earlier on here with it. Now for a little garnish. I'm going to get a towel real fast and wipe off my hand. Okay. So I'm going to take some chives just to add some green to the plate. Put the tip of the knife on the board, keep your fingers in, and chop. If you don't have a knife like this, or if you don't feel comfortable chopping, you can always use your kitchen shears. Okay, just take some, put it all around, and sprinkle a little bit in there too. A little more. Take some parsley, because you always want to make your food look pretty, because people eat with their eyes first. Put it in there, and there you go. Now it's time to eat. I'm going to take one of these, dip it in the homemade dressing. They're so good. So nice and warm, creamy. The Philadelphia cream cheese. We wouldn't be able to make this recipe without it. So good. Just forewarning you all that when you make this recipe, you're going to fall in love and want to make it all the time. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the recipe.